Hello people, this is Zippy and welcome to my classroom. Eight to 12% of children in the world have ADHD. In the United States alone, 11% of children have it, while 5% of adults have ADHD. And this is according to Johns Hopkins Medicine, which also says that boys are 2 to 3 times more likely to get ADHD than girls. And if you are in a profession like mine, you have seen like almost every person or every child I've come across who has ADHD is usually a boy. Not to say that girls don't have it, it's just more rampant in boys. Yeah, you can do your research and see why. Okay, so what is ADHD? This is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's characterized by so many symptoms, and the first two most common ones are inattention. Most of these children are easily distracted and they make very careless mistakes. So as a parent, as a teacher, you might be very frustrated with those tiny mistakes they keep making. Second point, hyperactivity. Many of these children or these people with ADHD fidget a lot. Okay, they are very restless, and you'll see they have a term I don't like to use, but is used a lot when describing this condition, is inappropriate levels of physical activity, and they tend to take part in very risky activities. So they'll do these crazy stunts and crazy things. You're like, wow, do you have a death wish? So yeah, that's very common. The other thing is impulsivity. They act without thinking. They tend to just interrupt people, because they have not consciously seen that, oh, those people are in a conversation, I should probably wait. They just, disrupt. They have difficulties with self-control. That is one major issue they try their best to handle. And as we continue, I'd like you to stay till the end of the video, because I'll be giving you tips on how to help anyone who has been diagnosed with ADHD, or if you personally are diagnosed with ADHD. Okay. The other thing is forgetfulness. They lose their items, they misplace things, all the time, and they forget even appointments they have booked. They forget deadlines. They have really big issues with meeting deadlines. And there's also lack of focus. They struggle a lot with activities that have sustained or require sustained mental effort. Okay, you cannot make them focus for long, and it's advisable to just have shorter lessons if you are managing a school, because that's one of the things. But if you're watching this, don't start diagnosing someone or your child or just anyone else or yourself thinking that, hey, all those things she's saying, I think I have them. I mean, no, especially for children, they're still developing and they still need some time, just to be able to get to that point where they know themselves and they're able to sustain their focus for longer. They cannot, this issue of focus, they're not able to just stay on task. So you'll see most of the time they're shifting, they're shifting from one thing. We've started one activity, then all of a sudden we've gone to another activity. They also have difficulties with planning and execution, so it's really hard for them to plan and execute something, till the end. And you see it if you have someone like that in your life, whether you're a teacher or you're a parent, you've seen that, and they easily get overwhelmed by large projects. You give them a project that is due in 3 months, 6 months, you don't know what you have done to that person. Okay, so it's too overwhelming for them. And also because they don't know how to organize themselves. Their workspaces are very messy. You might be working with someone like that. They can't just have things organized. It's just a mess, but they know where everything is. Even if it's their bedroom, that child has a very untidy bedroom. And so these are some of the things. Now, what happens because of all these symptoms I have talked about? Many of these people, especially when they're teenagers, they tend to have a very low self-esteem, because people are like, what's wrong with you? You look, why do you act like that? So they tend to like keep to themselves, and they have, issues of self-esteem. And also that can sometimes build up to anxiety, especially with adults. Adults who have ADHD tend to have extreme anxiety, just because of everything that's going on. They just need to know, if you're always forgetful, you don't know, okay, what am I forgetting right now? Is there an appointment I'm supposed to be at? It's just too many things. So how can you help this person? If you're a parent or if you're a teacher with such a student or students in your class, how do you help them? I'll tell you, first thing is about you. Even before you get to that person, educate yourself. There are so many free online courses you can do to get to know more about ADHD. And beginning as a teacher, I was not used to that, to meeting students with such a condition. And then later on, you come to realize, wait, this there's just something disconnected here. And then you become curious to get to know how you can help that particular child. And knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. You, as a parent, you would need to learn more about it. Read books, watch videos, just do your research, talk to as many pediatricians, psychologists as possible. Another way to help them is by communicating clearly. So like we said, they easily get bombarded with all this information. So communicate clearly what you want them to do. If you're telling them make your bed, literally tell them make your bed. Don't go like, no, you what's up with your bed? No, just be direct, be clear that I need you to make your bed. Okay. Another thing, establish a structure and a routine, and this will help them especially in their adulthood. Okay, so once they are young children, help them establish that structure. First thing you wake up, you do A, B, C. Help them establish that structure, and then it's an everyday thing where they're going about that same routine. You as a teacher in class, give them that routine. The moment you walk into class, what's the first thing you do? Take out your books, place them on the table, put your bag away. And you have to repeat it. And I know it can be so repetitive and very annoying, and you just want to lose it, and just patience. You really need lots of patience, because you'll have to repeat yourself for a very long time until they finally get this structure developed. Okay. Then now also, in relation to that, help them make their own structure and their own routine. Because like we said, they easily forget appointments, they easily, they're not able to meet deadlines. So help them develop one. So it could be a calendar, just sit down with them and help them come up with a calendar. Especially if they're an adult, they risk losing their job if they're not able to meet their deadlines or show up, to meet a client and so on. So they need that calendar. It needs to be somewhere that is very visible, so that they see every day. I see people putting them on their refrigerators, others at the door just before they leave the house. They're able to see it. do that. Or help them also with making a to-do list. And it sounds like they should just know, I need to do this and that and that and that. No, majority of the time they're not able to just sit and break them down. Okay, so go ahead, help them do that. So a to-do list, a calendar, those things will really go a long way. Also, break tasks into manageable chunks, and this one goes for so many age groups. It's not just even for people with ADHD, but like we said, they get overwhelmed with very large projects. So break it down. So you have a task that is due in 3 months, whether you're an employer, a teacher, a parent. Break it down. Tell them, by the end of the first week, this is what we need. By the end of week 2, by the end of week 4, week 6, as we build up to 3 months, because they're not able to picture that entire 3 months and organize themselves. So you help by doing that. Just break it down nicely, and it really helps to have something and constant reminders, just so that they can come back, okay, onto that particular goal. And this is not to say that anyone with ADHD is less intelligent or anything. No, do not have that, because it's a misconception. Because the people I have met who have ADHD are some of the smartest people I know. So we just need to support them and help them organize themselves. Another way to help them is by giving them a quiet and conducive environment, because like I said earlier, they are easily distracted. And so you'll see, if they're in a classroom with many students, and that one has started talking about I don't know what, and this one is singing, and this one is they're not going to concentrate. They will not learn at all. You really need to have them in a very quiet environment. It may not be easy every time, especially in a school setting, but if they're at home and they have little brothers and sisters who keep coming to them and distracting them, they will never learn. So find a quiet room where you can put them, if without a gadget, maybe, if they don't need it, so they can focus on that task and just do it to completion. And in addition to it being quiet, let it also be organized. Okay, you can just find the room that is unoccupied, it's messy, and then put them there. They're also not going to work. So let it be both quiet and organized. The other thing I would add is positive reinforcement. And this goes a long way, let me tell you. Just reinforce, say nice things, be kind, and give them these words of encouragement that, wow, you actually put these papers in the right folder, well done. If you're going to give them a reward, just go ahead. They were able to, this time, stay on task for 10 minutes without moving and going to do something else somewhere else. Reinforce them positively, and that will encourage them to try and fight all kinds of distractions and just focus on what they're doing, no matter how hard it is for them. Use of technology is one way of helping. It just does a lot, because like we said, they have difficulty with sustained mental effort, so things that require them to sit for long, and if you're telling them to read a textbook from page 90 to page 95, you're just stressing this child, and they're never ever going to understand anything. So if you can find a video that will summarize all of those pages nicely, a game, an app where maybe it's speech to text, where they don't have to sit and write, or text to speech. There are so many AI tools that you can use to help such a person who has ADHD and they are struggling with it, but the thing is, they know where they want to go, there's that goal, but between here and there it seems like it's such a bumpy road, and they need all the support they could get. And last but not least, see a professional. If you feel, no, this is not just developmental problems, this now looks like it's on another level. This does not look, just normal kinds of activity, normal kinds of distraction. I feel like there could be something else. Please go to a psychologist. If they're a child, go to a pediatrician. They'll be able to advise you on the best way to go about it and the best way to help your child. And there's no one size fits all. Do not go and because Mama so and so's child was given this and told to do that, that's exactly what you're going to do. No, you go and get help, a different kind of support, because every child is different, every person is very, very different. And if you're an adult and you feel like this is becoming too much, I'm not able to meet my goals or do anything, then also find help. Okay, and yeah, it doesn't cost much to get help for yourself. Okay, and yeah, just do it early and you'll see the results take you very far. Okay, if you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe. I hope to see you in the next episode. Auf Wiedersehen.